Hello, guys. My name is Nicholas Earle, and welcome back to another edition of Talking Baseball with the Earle Brothers, joined here by my brother Tim. And today, let's get all proper, Tim, because we are going to an awards ceremony. It is the mid-season awards. For the MLB, we'll be talking MVP for both the American League and the National League. We'll be talking Cy Young for both American League, National League, and Rookie of the Year. First off, quick thoughts on the award ceremony, and how many do you think that we will pick today as the mid-season award winners will actually go on to win the award?
I'm not entirely sure. I know these are the mid-season awards, but I still feel like some of them for me was kind of a combination of who I think is going to end up winning it at the end too, because I feel like with some of ours, we can kind of say, you've kind of got like the mid-season, and I got kind of who I think is going to end up winning it in general. But I think it's an interesting thing. I know we're going to be disagreeing on a couple just because some of them I agree with you, but I wanted to throw another player in so we could talk about it. It should be a fun one though. I'm excited.
Absolutely, and we'll get it started in the National League. We agree on this one. A lot of the offensive numbers do not agree with us, but if you implement what this player is doing on defense as well, I think that's what truly sets him apart to the other player that people are comparing him to. I have Crow-Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs. So far this year, 95 games. He has a 5.2 WAR. He has 99 hits, 25 home runs, 71 RBIs, 27 stolen bases. Slashing 265, 302, 544 for an 847 OPS. Now, I am aware when you look at the player comparison here, which we are comparing him to Shohei Ohtani. I feel like the argument is there for Shohei Ohtani as well, because quickly we'll grab the stat page here, and it's very skewed towards Ohtani actually. Ohtani does have more home runs, better batting average, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, but he's a DH. And that's why the WAR for Crow-Armstrong is higher, because if Crow-Armstrong is going to put up these numbers, now granted offensively, they're not as good as Ohtani. I'm not saying they are. If he puts up these type of offensive numbers, which I believe he's currently on the pace to join Shohei Ohtani in the 50-50 club, playing elite at center field, a premium position in baseball. Here we go again, making the argument that the offensive numbers are not nearly as good, but it's a premium defensive position compared to a designated hitter. Yes, I'm aware he's thrown some innings. I do not care. But for me, I have Crow-Armstrong. I think that he is the best overall player so far this year for the National League. Most valuable.
Although I feel like this one's like the most skewed, where we kind of look a little bit crazy, just because of how big of a favorite Shohei Ohtani is to win the MVP. If I'm giving it to somebody mid-season, it's Crow-Armstrong. He's you look at it, and here's my biggest comparison, and here's why I'm going to die on the hill that Lindor was the MVP last year. How good are the Cubs without Crow-Armstrong?
They're still good, but they're not in first place in the division.
How about the Dodgers without Shohei?
They're in first place.
That's my point. At the end of the day, it's how much the player is worth to the team. And at the end of it, I strongly believe Crow-Armstrong is more valuable to the Cubs than Shohei Ohtani is to the Dodgers. I think you can make kind of that same argument for another guy that's a little bit down there at James Wood. I'm not saying he's the MVP, but without him, I feel like the Nationals are even worse, if that sounds crazy. And that's kind of how I look at it. I'm not going to say James Wood is the MVP over Shohei Ohtani, but James Wood is more valuable to his team than Shohei Ohtani is. But I'm going Crow-Armstrong.
That's fair. Want to move on to the next award?
Yes, because this one we're going to have fun with.
This one we're going to disagree with here. The American League Most Valuable Player. It is a two-man race, too, I think, as well.
Yes.
And
although I'm going to mention somebody else that on the other channel I've mentioned before. So
that's fair. But we will look at the difference between Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. Here, Aaron Judge, way more WAR, which I know that could be an argument for a catcher if he's going to put up these type of numbers.
Yeah.
The WAR numbers are not similar. Like that. That's now granted. Yes, Cal Raleigh has more home runs, RBIs, and I don't care about stolen bases between Judge and Raleigh. I really, really don't. But you look at the slash lines: 355, 462, 733 for an 1194 OPS. He's putting up better numbers than he did last season when he won the MVP, Aaron Judge. And for me, Aaron Judge is my pick to win the American League MVP at the moment. Yes, I love me some Cal Raleigh. I really hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Cal Raleigh wins the MVP. I don't see how you could pick anybody other than Judge right now, though. And yes, Cal Raleigh's hit a lot of home runs, but Aaron Judge is only 3 behind him.
Yeah.
And I just think overall, Aaron Judge has put up the better numbers. He has more WAR. And here's the thing: we can make the argument that the Dodgers don't need Ohtani, right? We can make the New York Yankees need Aaron Judge.
Okay.
Yeah, that lineup without Aaron Judge in it is putrid. He is the cog that keeps the machine running. They absolutely need Judge.
Okay.
The Dodgers don't need Ohtani, but the Mariners do need Raleigh.
I was going to make the argument that not only is Cal Raleigh my AL MVP, if there was an MLB MVP, it would still be Cal Raleigh. Because I love to compare the players. Here, I know everybody looks at stats, but I like to compare how teams would be without. So, would the Yankees be a playoff team without Judge?
No. I will stand firmly on that. No. Absolutely not.
Okay. Would the Mariners be anywhere close to the playoffs without Cal Raleigh?
Once again, no.
Exactly.
Both teams need this player.
Correct. Which is great. But at the end of the day, who would lose more if they didn't have their player? And I will strongly say the Seattle Mariners would be a lot worse than the Yankees would if they lost their MVP. And here's why.
Because their talent on the roster is worse.
A, their talent on the roster is worse. That is correct. B, it's a lot easier to find yourself an outfielder, especially a right fielder. Because and Judge went from center to right, so he's playing a less impactful position.
And still putting up this type of work.
How many catchers can you put? I'm not going to say close to Cal Raleigh, because Cal Raleigh is the best catcher in baseball. It's not particularly close. How many catchers could you put on the Seattle Mariners and they'd be a playoff team?
A couple.
The answer is none. Compared to if they traded Raleigh for another catcher, would they still be a playoff team? No. The answer is no. And that's just it. How many outfielders could you trade Judge for and still be a playoff team? Plenty. I'm going to die on the hill. Cal Raleigh's my MVP. What he is doing, he may set a home run record this year for not only catchers, but his Seattle Mariners team in general, passing Cal Ripken Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. Sorry about that. And he could possibly go and have the best season a catcher has ever had. And if he's playing Gold Glove defense, which he is, he's won a Platinum Glove before. Cal Raleigh's your MVP.
I disagree. I just think when you look at Judge's stats,
I mean, it's easy to look at the odds and be like, okay, yeah, Judge is the MVP.
I mean,
that's fair.
Because
that's fair.
It's not close. It's not close.
But my point is, it's a lot closer between Judge and Raleigh than Ohtani and PCA. It is. Yes, I'm looking at something right now. Yes, it's
okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to look at that world, yes.
Yes, because that's a good indication on where the stuff is, and the fact that the numbers are where they are. That's what I'm saying.
Fair. We'll move on to the National League Cy Young.
This is fun.
We agree on this one, but I mean, this is an interesting comparison. Because I think this is another one where the top two are pretty. I believe they're pretty solidified top two.
It's top two, and it's not particularly close because the third place candidate is Christopher Sanchez, and that's light years away.
Yeah, no. So the comparison here is between Paul Skeens and Zach Wheeler. I did select Zach Wheeler as my pick for the Cy Young Award. I could see an argument for Skeens. These guys feel like a toss-up right now. Now, obviously, Zach Wheeler has the better record. I don't care about record when it comes to pitchers. I just want to put that out there. I did not pick Zach Gallen because Paul Skeens has a 4-8 record. Paul Skeens has a better ERA. Paul Skeens has a better ERA than Zach Wheeler, and that is it. Zach Wheeler's thrown one additional inning in one fewer start. He has a higher WAR. More strikeouts, higher strikeout percentage. More walks, higher walk percentage, or lower walk percentage. Just overall, as a starting pitcher, Zach Wheeler is better than Paul Skeens right now, and it's about time that Zach Wheeler wins his first Cy Young Award. I think it's about time. Now, would it shock me to see them give it to Paul Skeens? No. I think right now, though, Zach Wheeler is your Cy Young Award winner.
And if these two, by the way, I'm on Wheeler as well. But I will say I would give it to Skeens if the Phillies don't win the division. I feel like that's going to have a huge impact in it.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but I feel like that's going to have a big impact because if Zach Wheeler is putting up the numbers that he is on a division-winning team, is going to look a lot better than on a second-place team. But what Wheeler's doing is absolutely insane, and he should be the Cy Young Award winner, in my opinion. And as a Mets fan, I hate to see a former Met win a Cy Young with another team, but Wheeler is having an amazing year, and if there's a year for him to win it, because how many more good years does Wheeler have?
He's already said that once his contract ends in Philadelphia, that's he's calling it a career.
Because he's pitched, 12 years at this? 12, 13 years?
Something like that. He's been around for a hot minute.
I believe he came up in 2015?
2014?
Zach Wheeler. He was drafted in 2009, has made his first start in 2013. So he's pitched. This is his 12th year.
Yeah.
That was his third All-Star game. But the numbers that he's putting up is very, very impressive, and I think he deserves the MVP right now. Or sorry, Cy Young right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Oh, actually, can we go back to the MVP, American League MVP award?
Okay.
Just for 2 seconds, because I forgot to mention, even though we're going to start talking about something in a minute. Tyreek Skubal is currently third.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely, it would take him to, I think in order for that to happen, he's got to have, what has he got, like 10, not 10, but like 14, 15 starts left? You would got to think that in those 14, 15 starts, he could allow 10 earned runs, 11 earned runs.
If he finishes with a sub-2 ERA.
It's miles away. Like, the odds miles away from each other. But something worth mentioning because I see that number getting smaller and smaller by the day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to quickly put out Tyreek Skubal. But we're going to be talking. You're going to talk about Tyreek Skubal in a minute. I'm not even going to put him as my Cy Young.
I was going to say thank you for making a really strong argument for me.
Yeah.
Because I'll go ahead and take the guy that's currently third in the pecking order by people to win the MVP award, and I'll throw him as the best pitcher in baseball. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball. I don't think it's close. And I am a Garrett Crochet guy. During our season preview, said Crochet can win the Cy Young Award.
I still think he can.
I absolutely think he can. This is a pretty close race.
It is.
Tariq Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball. And I think right now, don't look too much into these stats because they're skewed a little bit because Crochet's made one additional start. Skubal in one less start has more WAR, the same ERA, only 7 less strikeouts. He also has a higher strikeout percentage, a lower walk percentage as well. And I am a big Garrett Crochet guy. Love Garrett Crochet. Love the signing to the Red Sox with him. However, Skubal's the best pitcher in baseball. Prove me wrong.
He is. I agree. And once again, this is like, I think that Tariq Skubal is probably going to win the Cy Young Award. But the point for this video for me was I wanted to mention other people. And that's why I decided Crochet. Is he the Cy Young for the first half? I don't know.
There's an argument
There's an argument for it. He leads the league in strikeouts. He's been absolutely insane for a Red Sox team that is now 1 game back of the Yankees. And a Red Sox team that's 3 games back of the Blue Jays. All of a sudden, 10-game winning streak for the Red Sox, and they're right back in this after trading away Rafael Devers. And watch out, because I know this is the Red Sox team that we were talking about preseason.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. And it's led by Garrett Crochet, who he goes, he pitches, and let me pull up I'm going to pull up his last 10 starts and what the Red Sox have been doing in his starts. All right, let's just go to the last 8 starts. A win versus Tampa. A win versus the Nationals. A win versus the Reds. A win versus the Angels. Sorry, a loss versus the Angels in extra innings. Not his fault. A win versus Seattle. A win versus the Yankees. A win versus the Yankees. A win versus Atlanta. In that time, he had 2 bad starts where he allowed 5 earned runs against Cincinnati. That was in the game that, got blown up. Chase Burns got blown up. So that was kind of garbage time runs. And the other one was in Yankee Stadium. Who cares? He has been absolutely exceptional. And they win his starts. Obviously, the Tigers win his Skubal starts too. But there's arguments for both of them, and I wanted to just bring up Garrett Crochet. And I will say, after a couple of bad starts, Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Jacob deGrom all kind of fell backwards.
I don't think DeGrom is out, not out.
No, he's not. But he's got. Let me put a comparison to him. He's got slightly worse than Crow-Armstrong to win MVP.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm seeing it. I just don't see Jacob deGrom in there right now. If he has a good, here's the deal. He's got to have a really good rest of the year.
Well, yeah.
And the Texas Rangers need to make the playoffs. Texas Rangers are currently 3.5 games back. They still can. But I don't think I could put in the argument for that one.
Yeah, no, like looking at it as well a little bit deeper. He's had a nice year. I will give him that, but the only thing he has on the other two is he has a better record.
And who cares?
He's got 9 less innings pitched than Skubal and 17 less innings pitched than Crochet. He has a 0.09 higher ERA, which is really threading hairs there. But 50 less strikeouts than Skubal, 57 less than Crochet. He has a lower strikeout percentage and a higher walk rate than the other two as well. So as much as I'd be like, yeah, let's take a look at DeGrom, we can't.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
We really can't. This next one, I don't think we're going to be talking too long about because I really don't have a player to compare him to at this moment. Because I think the next best is Drake Baldwin.
You can make the argument for him. It's not too far out, but the way Miz is pitching, you can't.
Yeah, no. I think this is going to be one of the quicker ones we go over. It's Jacob Mizorowski for me. I don't even have a way to compare him to Baldwin, but I think the way he's pitched so far, granted, only 5 starts and now 6 appearances because he pitched the All-Star game through a scoreless inning in the 8th. It was fun to see him pitch. Did not think he deserved to be in the All-Star game, but I've been a big Jacob Mizorowski guy since he's gotten the call-up. I said the one thing I was concerned about him was his control. If he can control, he can be a number 1 for the Milwaukee Brewers that they just spawned another ace, which could make trading Peralta or something like that hurt less. Which I don't think they do trade him at this point, but we've seen crazier before. We've seen the Brewers in the playoff mix trade away Hader. So you never know with the Milwaukee Brewers. They are a big question mark.
I think
for me,
Mizorowski will definitely make that easier.
Yeah. Mizorowski is the rookie of the year right now. I don't think it's particularly close.
Yeah, in 5 starts, he's allowed 8 earned runs. You take out the start that he got blown up against the Mets, he's allowed 3 earned runs.
He's been unreal.
Yeah, he's been crazy good. It would be 3 earned runs in 22 innings where he's allowed 7 hits. If you take out that Met start. He's been insane. He topped out a 103, 104 on the fastball and a 96-mile-an-hour slider. Screw that. That's insane. It's Scooble. Drake Baldwin's having a great year. You can't really do anything anymore about that one. Once Miz got the call-up, that's that. And I feel like you're going to start seeing a little bit of flip in favorites in the next one, too.
Yeah, but let's get into it here. The American League Rookie of the Year. This one, to me, is the most interesting because it does feel like a 4-player race.
I see 3 players, but...
Yeah, more 3, but I have 4 players I can type up, and it makes sense that I'm typing them up. And if we were project, I feel like the answer now of who is the American League Rookie of the Year
different.
Is the one that has the most volatility to win the whole thing. Yeah. Because right now, there's a clear pick on who is the American League Rookie of the Year. I think it's rather obvious, personally.
Okay.
However, this could be, I think this is the biggest difference between this being the mid-season award show and I am predicting who is going to win the award when it's awarded in November.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 totally different answers to that question. Because without a shadow of a doubt, the winner of the American League Rookie of the Year, if the season were to end today, Jacob Wilson, shortstop of the Oakland Athletics.
I agree.
I don't think it's particularly close, and I can get his numbers up. The only person that even holds a candle to him at the moment is his teammate Nick Kurtz. Kurtz Kapanik. But Jacob Wilson has the most WAR. He has the most hits. Granted, power's not his game. Kurtz has got that.
Yeah.
In 30 less games.
I'm sorry, does that say 17 home runs by Kurtz?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But batting average, on base percentage is Jacob Wilson, and he plays a premium position. He's a shortstop compared to a first baseman. Now, I think the biggest argument for it, and here's the one argument I will make towards your pick, because I know what your pick, unless you switch it, I know what your pick is.
It's the same. Yeah.
I think your pick is the winner if he's played the same amount of games or not 30 games less than Jacob Wilson.
I agree.
But my pick is, I feel like this is pretty obvious at the moment. Now, this is the award that is going to be very, very different at the end of the season than it is today. But Jacob Wilson is the winner if we are doing the mid-season award show, which we are.
Yes, correct. I agree. Jacob Wilson is the winner. Once again, I kind of treated this a little bit differently because I wanted to make arguments for other players. I wanted to play devil's advocate. I wanted to make it a fun video. If Nick Kurtz has the same amount of games played, he's the Rookie of the Year by a country mile. The stuff that he's doing is insane. Yes, he's playing in Sacramento. I don't care. Nick Kurtz is putting up a really, really solid season. And I feel like, and I know me, you, and Terry were talking about this in our group chat. I made an argument for this one, or a comparison of the MVP race from 2022 that Ronald Acuna, it might have been 2023, Ronald Acuna Jr. versus Matt Olson. When Olson was hitting home runs after home run after home run, he had like 50 home runs or 48 home runs or something like that, 140 plus RBIs, and then you had Ronald Acuna Jr. in the 70-40 club. Like, I can see something similar to this is you're going to have a Nick Kurtz that could hit 35 to 40 homers easily, and then you could have Jacob Wilson who wins the batting title. And then you're just up in the air. You're like, I don't know what to do. At the end of the year, those two Oakland guys are going to be the top two. You can make the argument for Cam Smith, especially if he's on a division-winning Astros team.
Yes.
Roman Anthony's not going to have enough. That's just my opinion. But I'm going Nick Kurtz. I think he's going to end up winning the award in general. I think at the midpoint part of the season, Jacob Wilson is, and it's only because Kurtz hasn't had enough games. I can't. That's my one argument with it. The first baseman out of Wake Forest, I think he's going to end up winning it.
Yeah, and I can I can absolutely understand that argument. And I feel like there's an argument right now. It's just for me, Kurtz does not have enough games. Personally,
yes, I agree. But with the sample size, what Kurtz has done in the games that he's played. For me, that would give him the Rookie of the Year right now over Jacob Wilson.
That's fair. But that is the award show for us. Let us know in the comments section down below where we got it right, where we got it wrong. And was there any players we missed?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either.
I don't really think there's many arguments for any other guys. Yeah, nothing with the Rookie of the Years. I mean, you could people can try to throw in Augustine Ramirez for Rookie of the Year.
No.
But he's kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't think anybody can really throw in anything for Cy Young. MVP. MVPs are kind of a two-man race. The closest third out of any player is Juan Soto. And that's not as far back as you think. But you could kind of have the same argument that you had from Lindor versus Soto last year, or Lindor versus Ohtani last year. But that's the closest one that you can make an argument for MVP, according to something else. So that's kind of my argument with it.
Yeah, a couple other awards we did not mention that I kind of have thoughts about. Manager of the Year, I think you can give it to Murphy again from Milwaukee for what he's done so far with this Milwaukee Brewers team. Only a game out now behind the Cubbies. And for the American League, it's one and one only. It's Sean Schneider of the Toronto Blue Jays.
I'll disagree with you on that.
This was a team that a lot of people picked to be last in the AL East. That's currently leading the AL East.
I still disagree.
I would love to know who.
AJ Hinch, Detroit Tigers, best team in baseball. Going from being a borderline wild card team barely got in on a wild card, played. They were the 6th seed last year, made a nice run, and now they're 21 games over 500. And that's even with a 4-game losing streak. So they were 25 games over 500.
Yeah, but we had a little bit of expectations for them. A little bit.
Did we? The Tigers weren't even favored to win the division.
They were in the playoffs last year.
Okay,
and I think
so were the Brewers.
Were the Tigers projected to finish last in the division though?
No, you got the White Sox in that division. That's not fair.
Okay, were they projected? Okay, fine, whatever.
And then the other ones were kind of pick'ems because they were kind of close with the Royals and the Guardians too. They thought that division was going to be a lot closer. We go into the All-Star break, and they have an 11.5-game lead in the division.
Yeah, and the Blue Jays felt like the pencil in for last place in the East. And I said, don't do that with the Blue Jays because I thought that roster was better than people thought it was, which Spoiler, it is.
It is. I was wrong on
that. I think
I would make the argument.
I think Schneider's the manager of the year for the American League. That's the one I wanted to throw in there as well because I know we didn't have it typed up. Comeback player of the year, I kind of like Javier Baez. Jacob deGrom's another one as well that you can make an argument for. Javier Baez, though, after being the worst player in baseball last year, going through an injury himself, coming back, being the most versatile player on that team.
You can make the argument for either one.
Yeah.
But I personally am Jacob deGrom.
Yeah. And I felt like it could have been Sandy's award to win, but he's just been terrible this year. I don't know who the comeback player of the year would be in the National League at the moment.
I really don't either.
Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Probably.
Yeah, that'd probably be my pick for that. But I just wanted to touch on a couple other awards that we didn't have typed up, like the non-major awards and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I just want to touch on those. Anything else you want to mention before we head on out?
I want to give a shout out to the San Francisco Giants. I think they're going to be my most surprising team so far because I did not expect them to be good. And granted, they're half game back to the wild card, but they're a lot better than I thought they would be. So I'll give a shout out that the Giants are my most surprising team right now.
I would give that to the Cardinals over the Giants just based on my expectations of that team.
I didn't expect it. The thing is, I expected the Giants to be fourth place and deep in fourth place. Cardinals I expected to be bad too. That's fair. I guess the only other most surprising team for me is the Blue Jays, but that's just me.
And most disappointing, I think it starts and ends with the Baltimore Orioles, and I don't really know who else.
Atlanta.
And Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta too.
I believe they're the same. The Atlanta 42-53, 43 and 52. So the Baltimore Orioles are actually better than the Atlanta Braves right now.
Wow. Shout out to the Orioles. But that is going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.